I'm re-recording this because I realized that I was sitting on my microphone the entire time I recorded the first version of this. That's okay, I didn't get too far into it. But something that you need to know about me is that I really like books. What kind of books are you asking? Well, I love a good traditional book. I love The Fleas of the Pacific Northwest, for example. That is a good book. But no, what I'm talking about are blank books, for the most part. So, you got your classic nice ones. I like collecting blank journals because I write in them and I like making little drawings in them sometimes. Like this one's all full, and I go to the next one. I like collecting all kinds of different sizes, trying out, seeing what I like best. Maybe I want one with not a lot of embellishment on it. I can draw on the cover. Here's a drawing of me looking at my toe. Yeah. And the point is, I have a lot of these journaled. I even have really small ones for when I go out in the woods and I look at bugs. All that to say, I had never really thought of going to thrift stores to find journals before. I love thrifting, but I'd never explicitly gone out thrifting to find a journal. All my journals have kind of come into my possession, or they're me repurposing books that I've gotten from family members but haven't, because people are always buying me art shit. Like, it's kind of the thing that people buy for me. So I have a bunch of blank books already that I just haven't gone through because throughout my life I've preferred to write on loose leaf paper up till now. That's all to say that I went to this kind of fancy thrift store with my friend the other day, and everything is very expensive because everything is very antique and old in this store. There's a ton of shit to be sifted through, and it's all very interesting. And there are these bins and bins and bins of notebooks. Not notebooks, but nicely bound books, photo albums, the kind of really old, nicely bound things that you expect to find, and they're all pretty expensive, except for this book that I found, which immediately kind of struck me because the binding is odd. Like, you can't even open it all the way, and these are my notes. Everything else is original to when I bought it. I haven't even really cracked it open yet. I started annotating this because the handwriting was pretty hard to read, and it doesn't have a date on it, which I think is one of the most interesting parts. Well, less interesting than things that I'm about to say. And then while flipping through it, I realized, it stops for a while. It stops about right in here. It's all in this fountain pen. Then it's different handwriting here. It's in pencil now. And then I think another person picks it up later. And I'm very excited to look through this and figure out what all the, like, there's even, somebody picks it up and sure, it could all be the same person, but I don't know yet, right? I'm kind of conjecting my hypothesis for this experiment is that it's not, but I thought it'd be interesting to find journals like this, even ones that used to belong to kids or something, and kind of make a series or something of reading these, because just reading through this one is going to take a second. And it's interesting because picking this up, I initially thought this was going to be somebody's personal journal because that's practically what all of mine are. I started annotating this, like I said, and I got so far into about 2 pages of the annotating it because, again, the handwriting is pretty hard to read. So I'm gonna read this first page and a half, and it's going to be pretty smooth. After that, I might have some difficulty, but it begins. There was a master come unto the earth, born in the holy land of Indiana, raised in the mystical isles east of Fort Wayne. The master learned of this world in the public schools of Indiana, and as he grew in his trade as a mechanic of automobiles, but the master had learnings from other lands and other schools, from other lives he had lived. He remembered these, and remembering became wise and strong, so that, and there's a word here that I cannot decipher, so that somebody saw his strength and came to him for his counsel. The master believed that he had power to help himself of all, and hence the master believed that he had power to help himself and all of mankind, and as he believed, so it was for him. I'm so sorry. The master believed that he had power to help himself and all of mankind, and as he believed, so it was for him, so that others saw his power and came to him to be healed of their troubles and their many differences of discase. Yeah, discase. The master believed it so well for any man to think of. The master believed that it so well for any man to think of himself as a pawn of God, and so he believed, so it was, and the shops and garages where he worked became crowded and jammed with those who sought his learning and his touch, and the streets outside with those who something, only that the shadow of his passing might fall upon them and change their lives. So that's not. Yeah, I guess I'm making this video as an introduction to this book, this concept. Going forward, I'm gonna make sure to write down what it all says going into the video, but it's an interesting premise, right? Somebody's creating a narrative in this that only a couple people have ever seen, and you have no idea when it's written from. Again, this handwriting, I feel like it's indicative of an older person, but there's honestly no way to know because this could have been somebody just wanting to create an older aesthetic. So, yeah, more on that later. Okay, goodbye.